the BET Hip Hop Awards, and of course, you guys know we did a space on that last week with Fat Joe, who will be hosting it. You know, Fat Joe's had so much to say, and apparently, a lot of some of the insiders, from what I'm hearing, a lot of the insiders in the actual music industry and hip hop, especially a lot of the actual quote unquote non-black people, have certain things to say about it. They don't like the fact that this documentary is coming out. Here's the thing, man. This is just the trailer. This is a trailer for the actual movie. This is not for the documentary. This is not even the actual documentary. So, you know, I want to see exactly what's going to happen when the actual documentary itself comes out, how people are really going to feel about it. Because this was like a 2 minute documentary I saw the other day. And I know they had a space yesterday as well, too. They were talking about it. And I believe Don B had a space. And I caught some of D Tubman's actual broad little video she had on YouTube where she was discussing it. Well, she wasn't discussing it, but she actually played back, I guess, the part where you had Tariq on there. He was in the space and he was getting into it with this one cat, Dante, white cat named Dante. Apparently, Dante, I believe, may be some kind of A&R and music. I'm not sure if he works directly with Busta Rhymes or whatever. And you know, apparently, a lot of the you know, artists and stuff, non-Black American artists, have an issue with this documentary coming out. So, like I said, we're gonna kick up on that real. Quick shout out to Cognitive. Thank you for your contribution on Cash App. For those that's going to be on YouTube, guys, make sure you go ahead and like, share, and comment on tonight's broadcast. If you have not subscribed to it, definitely go ahead and subscribe to the broadcast. Once again, if you're on YouTube, like, share, comment on tonight's broadcast. I want to get my people's opinion on this thing right here because it's been circulating. I went ahead and I put a poll up there, and I think we're at almost 300 people who have participated in the poll. We're at 299. That's up in the Jumbotron, guys. So if you have not already participated in that poll, the Twitter poll, definitely go ahead. It says, will you watch the Hip Hop Microphone Check documentary when it's released? So far, 82% of the respondents say yes. 11% says no. 4% says maybe. 3% says not sure. So definitely, that's up in the Jumbotron, the third on the right-hand side. I want to know if you guys are going to take a look at that actual if you're going to take a look at that actual documentary when it's released. I think it's something that's greatly needed. We look like we have a lot of old school cats that's going to be up in the documentary sharing their thoughts and everything else like that. And so I can't wait to hear what people have to say tonight, because I think, like I said, it was greatly needed. I see a real commercialization. Hip hop has already been commercialized. So I don't want anybody to get on that point. It's already been commercialized, but it seems like it's a point to kind of, exclude Black Americans definitely out of a creation that they created. I don't think anybody would have a problem if somebody says, we contributed to this art form and we participated and we helped to popularize it or whatever. Fine, but when you start sitting up here and say, hey, we're the creators of this and we brought this and we brought that, and it wouldn't be this if it wasn't for us. Now you got an issue. And the thing that is so disheartening is that you have a lot of people that are actually upset. They're saying that you're being divisive by talking about this. You're being divisive, that you're starting an issue, that you should leave this alone, that this is something that shouldn't be brought up. Why are you targeting certain groups of people? And I'm like, the documentary hasn't come out. I haven't seen anybody target any group of people. So that's something else I'm trying to understand. Nobody's targeting anybody. I didn't hear anybody take offense when they were saying that, Latinos created this 50-50 with Black people and Jamaicans created this or that, whatever. Like nobody's taking away because you have a bunch of brothers that's from the Caribbean, that contributed to the actual art form. Nobody's saying that. But the fact of the matter that all of a sudden that Black American music is too deep to sit up here and act like like we're newcomers or something like that. The popular music in this country is all created by Black Americans. Everybody knows that. And to sit up here and try to play semantics and try to go ahead and push us out of our legacy is just not the thing to do. Like I say, I'll give credit where credit is due. I'll definitely say that you had and there's a lot of Caribbean brothers that rap that I dig, that I like, that have a Caribbean background or whatever, that I can dig their music, like their music, grew up listening to their music, be the first to go ahead and compliment them on their lyrical skill and the content and everything else, the messages they put out. we definitely go ahead and we pay homage and we give that, but don't sit up here and say, man, we created this and that or whatever, and this one existed, and you know, even the people like even when you talk about DJ Cool Herc came over here and integrated into Black American society. I mean, what are we talking about? He integrated into Black American society, Black American culture, Black American fashion, Black American music. His whole life was that. So don't sit up here and try to go ahead and say, you know, even if we want to take the artists and stuff from different backgrounds, they're still rapping about about an American way of life, an American way of life, an urban life that's totally centered around the Black American experience. Like let's not do that. Let's not play stupid here. Let's not play dumb. Nobody's rapping about, you have not heard one song that was popular in this country that people love that was a rap song and it was solely talking about somebody's background in another land. I have not heard a song where it was all about the Bahamas or the Jamaica or the Caribbean or Puerto Rico or Africa or any of these places. It's always been centered around, right? And if you're talking about New York, it was always the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan. It was always those areas. You're talking about Florida, Houston, whatever. It's always centered around the Black American experience here in America. So even for the people, of Caribbean backgrounds, their whole thing has been centered around the Black American experience. And tonight, that's what we're going to talk about, guys. I'm glad to have y'all up in this Twitter space tonight. Definitely, like I say, up in the Jumbotron, we got a poll up in there. Third on the right-hand side, it's about, will you watch this documentary when it comes out? Go ahead and definitely participate in that poll. Go ahead and retweet it out as well, too. It's going to be interesting to see what Fat Joe, because I heard Fat Joe's been sweating up a storm. He's been blocking people left and right. Fat Joe's going to be up there at the BET Award show, and this goes to show you how boule they are. This thing ain't nothing but a white-owned front here. BET is no longer owned by Black folks. It is no longer owned by Black folks. Hasn't been owned by Black folks, and I don't know when. And they're going to put Fat Joe up here. And I talked about that on Thursday. Fat Joe, notorious for the N-word, going to be hosting a actual award show, that the main participants are Black. If Fat Joe, if it was 50-50 partnership, then why aren't half of the people that's going to be nominated for awards Puerto Rican, Hispanic, Latino? Why isn't half of the audience going to be Latino up in there or whatever? So if it's 50-50 creation, why are most of the people in there going to look Black or be Black? So I just want to get that point as well too. I see Originals up in the space as well. What's up, Original? Glad to have you up in here. Like I say, guys, for those that want to speak tonight as well too, we want to hear what you got to say. The trailer I want to know when the official when this documentary drops, because the trailer's got people pissed off. The trailer got people upset. What's the white boy name that's supposed to be the A&R? Let me see if I can find him up in the Jumbotron. This cat was talking hella noise. Then he went ahead and he started blocking. I mean, then he started putting his little tweets, having them protected or whatever. Dante Ross. Apparently Dante Ross and Tariq, they were kind of getting in the back and forth about it or whatever. Like I say, Dante's supposed to be an A&R, and you should see this cat's little pictures. I put that up in the Jumbotron. It's the second on the right. You talk about somebody with the whole term, and I think he had a broadcast one time talking about wigger and this and that or whatever. So this one of these white cats that slithered his way into Black culture, and you can't tell him he ain't more Black than anybody in this space right here. He's going to give us a history lesson about Black music, about Black art form, Black culture, and he'll sit up here and he'll tell you that he's more Black than anybody up in here because he's got probably Black friends and he probably done been with a couple Black women or whatever. So he's up that's up in the Jumbotron. The second on the right-hand side, we're going to get a chance. We're going to read some of the actual tweets and stuff like that. Like I said, he was all that mouth. But then he made sure that he had this thing because he talked about he was willing to meet with Tariq and this and that or whatever, from what I heard from D. Tubman's broadcast. And then, when it was time to actually, I guess, get down to the nitty gritty, he's got his tweets under protected, so you can't even see his stuff. So yeah, and in the most cowardly fashion, this dude went ahead and he ran with his tail tucked between his legs. So he wasn't about having no conversation like that. You got a bunch of old school artists. I'm glad to see come on. I think I saw a clip too with Big Daddy Kane, where I think Big Daddy Kane was kind of going in as well too. If anybody has that clip or know what Big Daddy Kane was talking about, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear some of these older cats, these legendary New York rappers starting to come out and say stuff. I saw Melly Mel was on the actual trailer as well too. So Melly Mel is definitely a legend. Melly Mel definitely has quite the mouth on him as well too. So I can only imagine how Melly Mel was going in on that documentary as well too. And like I say, it is caught the ire of a lot of these white executives, a lot of these Latino executives, a lot of non-black people in the actual music industry as well too. A lot of people have been they've been talking a lot of noise, but now it's about to be put up or shut up time right now. Now it's time to start sourcing up. And let's see how they go ahead. And the same people they say they pay homage to the actual veterans, the actual founders of hip hop. Let's see how they come out and try to attack the actual people that's on this actual documentary and try to make them out to be lies as well too. So all of the talk and all of this that you came with about the culture and this and that and what you brought here and all this other stuff and how you established this music genre, which we know is nonsense. It is nonsense because just the same way black people established disco, you know, which was really R&B, but they just gave it another name or whatever. But disco, when they established disco, and then I should say pop, they also established pop music as well too, because pop was just disco as well too, and they just went ahead and started giving things different names and stuff like that to appeal to the masses. They've established all kind of different musical genres in this country that nobody else can claim, and everybody knows it. So go ahead and start putting these receipts out right now while you can, because we definitely want to see it. I want to see what Busta Rhymes has got to say about this, because I expect, like I say, tomorrow night or whenever this Hip Hop BET Awards, I expect Fat Joe to come up here. We're gonna get some sound bites. We're gonna get some sound bites. You're gonna have him say some slick stuff. I think he said something to the fact that they were saying that black people was mad. He's like, only black people on Twitter mad, and only black people on Twitter and this and that. Like I say, because he's also an expert on black people as well too. He lives up there in New York, so he knows how every Negro thinks. So it's gonna be very, very interesting, guys, to see how this thing plays out. We're gonna have more and more people coming out. I see the people talking about how divisive it is, how it's tearing people down, how you're targeting Jamaicans and stuff like that. And from the clip that I saw, like I say, I have not seen the documentary because the documentary hasn't been released. I didn't see anybody targeting any ethnic group whatsoever. So the fact of the matter that you got to go ahead and start saying that people, because somebody's coming out with a documentary where they're able to go ahead and source up and have resources and people that were actually there, that they're targeting somebody is ridiculous. And Fat Joe was sitting up here talking about his brother used to bring crates to these hip hop parties, and that means his brother's one of the founders and all this. He was there. It's a difference between being there when something happens and actually being the creator of something. And that's the issue that a lot of people are having right now. Yeah, you could have been there, you could have attended the parties and this and that or whatever, but that don't mean you created this, man. I mean, you didn't create anything. You went, you saw something that you liked, you was in awe of it, and then later on, once you got the nerve to participate, then you started to participate. But you were never the teacher in this. You were always a student. You always sat there and you learned. And now you're sitting here and you're taking it. So yeah, I can't wait to see when this actual documentary drop. I'll definitely be catching it up. And like I say, if the trailer's got people like that, a 2-minute trailer, not a 5-minute trailer, not a 10-minute trailer, a 2-minute trailer got people, a 2-minute, maybe 2 minutes and a half trailer got people up with their panties up in a bunch and walking around with their feelings on their sleeves. And you can just imagine the actual documentary. I hope this documentary is going to be about 2 hours long. Even an hour and a half would do it justice, but hopefully it'll be 2 hours long so everybody can come up in there and get it or whatever. And to my knowledge, I don't know if DJ Herc, I believe they tried to get him to actually participate. So, I don't want anybody saying, well, you left Herc out and this and that or whatever. If they extended the olive branch to Herc to come up in there and Herc didn't, then, that's your answer right there. You can't get mad. And Herc has said times before as well, too, that there were people doing this stuff before he got here. So tonight, yeah, man, we're going to be discussing this as well. What's up, DJ? Can you hear me? I don't know. DJ, you up in the space? Yeah, you low as hell. Yeah, you really low. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me or not. Oh no, I can hear you, but you okay. What's up, original? I know when you come up to the speaker spot, you normally got something that you want to say and add into it as well too. So definitely go ahead. And we want to get some of our Stephanie. I see you up in the space as well too, and I know you from up in that area as well too. So I want to get what you got to say. Like I said, I know they had a big space at Don B. Shout out to Don B. He had a space going on, and I heard it was it was a chin check type space going on as well too. So shout out to him for putting the information out there as well too. What's up with you tonight, original? How you doing? You low too, original. Maybe it's my phone, but you low. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
that they're gonna start having strokes when the school documentary hit. And it's about time because every other demographic been stealing from us for centuries. And now that we are the universe is changing, and so now that we're getting back to who we are, and we taking our stuff back. Everybody want to get upset, but for decades, people have talked about us, called us all kind of names, said that we didn't have a culture, and now they see what we have, and they upset because we're no longer allowing them to take it. And one brother said that Sloppy Joe's brother, he was like the black sheep of their family. Said he stayed around black folks. I think he dated or married black women, and he was considered the black sheep of their family. And see, when you look at all these people, they talk about a lot of them. Oh yeah, you mentioned Big Daddy Kane, but Big Daddy Kane was in this video I saw today. He was trying to say that Kool Herc invented this, and he did not invent it.
Oh, so Big Daddy Kane said he did invent it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And so what's happening is, see, you got a lot of these older rappers and things. They still need to perform. They say so they will do whatever just to get a check. You see, and they don't care if they have to lie about us and say whatever. And it's sad that they have reduced themselves to that level instead of telling the truth. Because I know in that trailer, I think it has that guy, the graffiti artist Cornhead. And see, what happened is, from what I can see, they wasn't going to these originators to do these interviews. They would do an interview with somebody, and then they would say, "Oh yeah, this person was this and this person was that." And see, now that we have access to media, to real black media, that's what they're upset about. Because if you notice, every time some black people want to buy specific media outlets, they get turned down. But see, this is why, because they don't know whenever the move may hit them, and they're gonna start putting the truth out there. And so this is what I can't wait to purchase my copy of this documentary, and I'm gonna play it. I may even invite some people over to watch it with me. But this is stuff that we have to do, and we have to put, whether it be positive vibration, prayers or whatever, put it around Tariq and all others that are helping us to move our culture forward. Because we know how these people operate. But I just can't wait. I can't wait to see this. And so, like I said, I just want to say, for all y'all that's upset, that's your problem. And let me say this, Newstoter. I would like to hear some of these other people that's in the room. I would like to hear them come up and express their opinions, because oftentimes we get a lot of people in here, but then sometimes it's the same people that's giving their opinion. And I would like to hear some of these other people who've not come up to the mic yet. I would like to hear them come up and share with us, because you never know. You may say something that no one else has ever thought of and say, "Oh, yeah, you know what? I can get with that right there." So I just want to say, I would like to see some new hands up tonight. Come on, y'all. I know y'all can do this now, because we need to all be engaged in this. And I'm gonna land with that.
All right. Thank you, Original. I just want to let everybody know tomorrow night, guys, we're going to be doing the space, and it's up in the Jumbotron on the far left-hand side. On the far left-hand side. We're going to be doing the space on Joe Biden building on the wall at the border. So Joe Biden, the man that was so dead set against the actual wall, well, apparently Joe is building on the wall as well now. It's going to be building on the wall also. So definitely check us out tomorrow night in that space. Definitely check us out tomorrow night in that space. Joe Biden's wall. We're going to be talking about the wall at the border that Joe Biden is going to be building on himself as well too. I see we got a couple of hands. Stephanie, I know Stephanie had her hand up real quick before I get to Stephanie. Also, guys, up in the Jumbotron, If you believe in supporting black business, support Newstoter on Cash App, $Newstoter, Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest black-owned, black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, Newstoter, Newstoter. If you don't have if you don't have the PayPal, if you don't have the Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron. Also, make sure you visit newstoter.com daily to stay up to date on breaking black news in Black America. That is newstoter.com. Newstoter.com. Make sure you guys visit the site daily. Put out probably about 30 tweets a day of content. So guys, definitely go by the profile page and check that out. Click the links. Go to the article. Go to the actual website and read the articles as well too. $Newstoter, Newstoter for anybody that can and will support on Cash App. $Newstoter. Stephanie, you had your hand up. Did you want to say something, or are you good right now? Stephanie may be at work. I guess we'll come back to Stephanie. Let me go ahead and get to Bracy Research. Bracy Research, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah. One of the things that
Bracy, can we get you a little bit louder? Are you on a Bluetooth?
Give me a second here. Am I a bit louder for you? Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
All right. One of the primary things that has me returning to your particular spaces is your moniker. You notate that you're one of the largest curators, and I think many people may come to your spaces and they gloss over that. Curation is one who maintains a collection of information or a collection of any particular sort. So when you're talking about hip hop, I fear that one of the bigger things that we're missing is the rinse and repeat that's taking place. The reason that Black Jews are overlooked is because their oral interpretation of what occurred is not recognized versus those who keep a written collection, which is the Torah, if you will. So when I often point out to people, when you look at a movie like Denzel movie, The Book of Eli, and at the end of the movie, he's made this trek from the East Coast to the West Coast, and he finds himself amongst a group of people who are cloaked in white clothing, and an older gentleman with white hair. And Denzel arrives without the actual physical book, but he has the information in his mind. And he lays down and he reiterates or he espouses, he speaks, he gives the oral interpretation of those teachings. Well, the reason I bring up the Book of Eli and I explain that to people is, well, think about it if you're in the Middle East or in Northern Africa and you were making that trek out of Northern Africa, whether you crossed the Mediterranean or you made your way around Israel, out of Egypt, Israel, into Turkey, and you made your way up into the German region. Well, why do I say that region in particular? Because when you look at paper and you look at the origin of printing, it comes out of that particular region. And that would be the equivalent of a person coming out of a land where the teachings were on the wall and in a braille-like manner. And you leave that region, you don't have the teachings in a book, they're in stone or in a braille-type setting as it was in the particular Book of Eli. And when you get to that other location, those teachings would be expressed orally and they would put them in print. Now, the people who control the print are the people who control whatever the print says. They would have the ability to include in the additional books or remove books, remove paragraphs, words, and that sort of thing. When you look at what has happened in the past 3 years as far as this COVID issue, one of the bigger things I fear that people have overlooked is the library system. In the past few weeks or so, I saw an article or a news clip where they took a ton of books off of the shelf in a particular library. Well, how many books have been removed from shelves around the U.S.? So now time is back into hip hop, and the gentleman you were asking about the surname and last names and people's understanding and where their last name derived from, why they keep it, why they shouldn't keep it. I always hear that as a big deal amongst people with different religious and spiritual faiths. I'm a big proponent of you should definitely hold on to the last name because, but even more so, you have to keep track. You have to be the curator of the information that's associated with your last name. See, that's all of our particular jobs. Now, it would have been much more difficult to do this 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago. I get it. But today, we don't have an excuse. We have all of these different outlets that are storage facilities. These servers that we're bouncing off of. Everything that you're posting on a particular social outlet, it's a place of curation. You're keeping a collection. The bigger question becomes, what are you collecting? Is it nonsense? Is it of any true value to you first and foremost, to your last name, to your lineage? What is the value of what you're curating? What are you holding on to? Because when you start to get these disputes over this person was here, these people control this, these people were the curators of, they were the progenitors of. You could easily out these fires before they become fires, just by being able to go to your collection and easily present the disputing documents, the disputing argument. But being in these spaces, being in the airways, if you will, if we're just talking, we're in trouble because that's essentially what happened in the other region where we were passing on information verbally. But are we the curators of our own information? And I'll stop there.
Okay, Bracy, because I kind of, I kind of want to ask you this in terms of, how does it apply to the actual, topic of the night? What's your what's your thoughts on actually what we're talking about, about the hip hop documentary and the fact of the matter that you.
I was saying that in regards to hip hop, the reason you're having this hip hop debate is based on documentation and proper curation of the information. Because I mean, the simple answer and simple question becomes: okay, if you're saying these other groups outside of the Black Americans were the progenitors or the founders of a particular art form, then just produce and present the documentation. Produce the information. And documentation, of course, is in anything in the form of photograph, map, instrument, paper, video, music, audio, all of these things, video fall under documentation. When I say documentation. So it just becomes a matter of, I went down that path to say, it becomes very important what doing, whatever the art is, whatever the job, whatever the task is, you have to find value in yourself. You have to be the curator of your own works, of your own doings, whatever it is that's taking place in your life. And this discussion in regards to hip hop goes hand in hand with the discussions that we're having about reparations. It goes hand in hand with the discussions we have about who may have been the first Indian, who may have been the first Jews. Whatever you're discussing, it always reverts back to what you can prove. And what you can prove comes in the form of documentation. So in the hip hop realm, once again, just to reiterate, what can you prove? Whether it's Black Americans, whether it's Puerto Ricans, whether it's Haitians, Jamaicans, whatever the group is, what can you prove? What have you curated and presented? The youth like to say on these airwaves, where are your receipts? And it seems that oftentimes people, they make that statement, but it seems like no one really asks for receipts. Why don't we just ask, rather than you just start speaking, produce the receipts first and then speak. We keep allowing people to speak with no receipts. But I'll stop there.
All right, all right. Thank you, Bracy. Let me go ahead and get to Stephanie. I know you was up here and your hand fell down. Let me go ahead and get to you real quick. And Miss Edens, I'll get to you next. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Hey, salute to you. I was at work. I'm at work, so that's why.
I figured that much, but that's why I'm trying to get you on.
Okay, I just want to say salute to you. Salute to the entire chat. I want to shout out Star from the Star Report. He gave an eloquent history on our culture. Okay, I've explained it to everybody time and time again. Fat Joe is nothing more than a bully. Okay, he's always been a bully. He plays the enforcer type of person. Hence his name, his street name, Joey Crab. Okay, he's a hustler, former hustler from the Bronx. He sounds like a corner boy, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? But DJ knows what I'm talking about, corner boy. But as far as Big Daddy Kane is concerned, and LL Cool J and MC Lightning's up, they want to keep a paycheck coming. So this is why they're co-signing and saying, "Oh yeah, it's true, it's true." They're already going within the industry, and they're going to a lot of the 1980s and late 70s, early 80s into the 90s rappers, saying, "Hey, just need you to co-sign for us." But a lot of them are not going to take that step and say, "Hey, well, it was blacks and Puerto Ricans," because it absolutely wasn't. Like I said, I grew up in that era. I've known people that know this individual for so many, knew them personally, and they know what type of person he truly is. The man is a thief, okay? And as you can tell, he tried to steal our culture. He's trying to steal our history, okay? That right there should tell everybody what kind of person this is. He's got that conquistador blood in him. And that conquistador blood is being invoked, and he's going to use it on us to try to bully us. I mean, it's the same thing of how they did in the 90s when they was trying to run Rikers out. They tried to play boss and tried to run the whole D block, and they got shut down by the black inmates in there. Someone let me know that he stole somebody's song from back in the early 90s, and that's how he got famous. He's not talking about the time that he got booed on stage. He got booed so bad, somebody had to come up there and help him along when he was first coming out. So now he's going to play Billy Badass. That's just who he is. Now, Busta Rhymes, on the other hand, Busta Rhymes can't walk back on all of the crap that he's been taught because it'll make him look bad, especially from his culture, because he comes from a culture of arrogance. And they don't like to look bad because it's, he won't be considered a man anymore. When he first came out, LL Cool J was his idol. He worshipped LL Cool J. Now he's worshiping Slick Rick. Oh, because we're both Jamaican. Like, it's just crazy, But I'm glad it's coming out. It's telling the truth behind everything. And like I said, my sister used to rap, and I asked her about it. I asked her a couple of months ago. I'm like, yo, let me ask you a question. Was there Puerto Ricans involved in rap back in the days? She was like, Puerto Ricans? I don't know anything about that. The only thing they could say from back in the 80s is they probably talked about Roxanne. When UTFO made that song about Roxanne, I Want to Be Your Man. Them niggas was just trying to smash. That's it. She got one song, and if you listen to the song, you'll be throwing it in the garbage in like 10 seconds of it playing. So I'm just going to land right there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Miss Stephanie. I see our Black Pressure and Ray came up here as well too. Shout out to y'all. Miss Eddings, go ahead and unmute.
Stephanie, guess what, y'all? Move the fuck back. Back the fuck up. Move the fuck back. New York in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Miss Eddings. How you doing?
Miss Eddings, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, Newstoter. Hey, DJ family. Before I go, Bracy, have you seen the actual trailer for the documentary?
I have.
Okay, all right. Ooh, all right. Anyway,
Why do you ask?
Well, I asked because you gave such a I don't know. I didn't understand what you were saying. You went into a whole nother thing, and I maybe I misunderstood the title because I'm a lover of hip hop, and so like I don't know. Maybe I'm a straight to the point type of person,
Gotcha.
but it was way broad, and it went on to it went overseas, and it came back to America, then it stopped by South America. Your explanation, so I don't know. It just didn't sound like it.
Okay. Fair enough.
But shout out to you, Newstoter, DJ Ray. I see you, original Stephanie. in the building. Let me just say this: lineage matters. It matters. And Stephanie was talking about how Busta Rhymes ain't messing with LL. Let me tell you something. When LL went on that show and they revealed his lineage as him being FBA, oh, a lot of them folks checked out on him. And you know what? Shout out to him too. And I don't think he's fully embraced it because I think he really was traumatized by that show. You know what I'm saying? So he actually he's put a muzzle. He ain't really saying nothing really or repping anything. But I will say this: for those that work for him or work at Rock the Bells Radio, I can't think of the sister, the original sister, first female MC Shyrock. And to all those that actually did the interview, man, you know, like somebody said, I do, like, I know some of them don't need, you know, the bag that the Latinos or whatever, you know what I'm saying, just so that they have to say a lie or something, but it's hard for you to lie on your lineage. It's just you can't, like they're saying all these people are Puerto Rican. Disco King Mario is Puerto Rican, and his whole family is like, nah, that nigga from South Carolina. We all from South Carolina. It's like you can't lie on the lineage. And shout out to Brother Tariq for doing this. Y'all, you don't know how happy I am that this is being done because I feel like we have to gatekeep our culture. So lineage matters, and I'm happy that this is being done, and I hope that when it does come out, we just need to be ready and prepared because we're gonna have so much flag. And I know Tyreek he's catching it now, but the rest of us will have flag too because we'll be somewhere and hear somebody and they'll be talking about, oh yeah, but that was a lie. No. Here's the proof. Here it is. There's a documentary, a real documentary, not something that started in '85. And one last thing, how crazy are these folks putting up? So since we're going to the late '60s, they now putting up all these '60s videos and claiming the gangs had started to hit the whatever Puerto Rican gangs started hip hop and then they got the guy doing break dancing and he started doing the moonwalk and just this is insane. And it's like, listen, we have always appreciated others that wanted to come and celebrate our culture. But what we will not stand for is for you to co-opt and take our culture away from us. It is a Black American culture. Every bit of the music on this land here in the United States of America is Black American. There will be no anything, country, jazz, nothing, rock and roll, hip hop included, without us. So I fold my chair. Thank you so much, Ms. Tara, DJ, for letting me speak.
All right. Thank you, sister. Let me give a shout out to my people over there on YouTube. Shout out.
Sister, anytime.
Give me a shout out to the people over there.
Go ahead.
Hey, can you hear me, DJ? DJ, can you hear me? I don't think DJ can.
Yeah, I just want to make one.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on real quick. DJ, can you hear me? I'm not sure DJ can hear me. Hey, DJ, can you hear me? Let me drop him down for a second because I don't think DJ can hear me. DJ, if you come back up here because I think you must be in the Matrix. You couldn't hear what I was saying. Yeah, I think he must be in the Matrix. Okay. Bracy, real quick, I'm gonna get back to you. Let me go ahead and get to the let me get to we got a new speaker up in here. I want to go ahead. I think it's Owl Chemist. Let me go ahead and get to them, and then I'll get back to you, Bracy.
Hey, what's up, y'all? So yeah, thanks for this content, this conversation. This is cool. My comment was going to focus on the fact that if we have any questions about the origins of hip hop and who was there and so forth and so on, I don't think it's anywhere in anyone's mind arguable that funk is literally like the step right before hip hop. Like funk music as we know it is the precursor to hip hop as we know it, like in the 70s, like Kool and the Gang, early Kool and the Gang, early Old House players. The fact that that was the music, that was the soundtrack for the B-boys back in the day. It's not all this, what do they keep calling it? The Latin break that one dude was talking about. That may have been like the what do they call it? The Amazing Bongo Band. Like that's one record that a lot of people sought after. If you were a DJ, right, back in the 70s, people wanted that Amazing Bongo Band record because it had that cool break that went with the other breaks. But that's a huge exception into this whole idea of the Latin sound being what B-boys dance to. So my point is, you could go back to one of the first graffiti documentaries. I believe it's called Watching Our Names Go By. It's from like 1967, 68, 76, 78, something like that. But the soundtrack to that film starts off with Kool and the Gang's Boogie, or the Boogeyman, what's it called? Not the Boogeyman. Not Boogie Wonderland. No, it's no, it's oh God. Anyway, I'm gonna look it up in just a second. But what I'm saying is that the funk music was the precursor to hip hop, not only in just succession historically on the chronological timeline, but also those elements that were in funk got evolved and emerged and transformed into what we know as like those early elements of hip hop. That's showing you the cultural continuity of Black Americans going from gospel, rhythm and blues, jazz, rock and roll, funk, hip hop. That's showing you the sequence right there. So that being said, if anybody is familiar and who has any connection to that culture as an American, I don't care if it's Roger and Zapp or George Clinton or James Brown, or even going back further, Rufus Thomas, all of this stuff is what gave us hip hop in its earliest stages. That being said, I don't think we need to give somebody $180,000 to prove that to us. I think this is completely researchable. I don't understand why, if someone has made so many films that were successful and so many people bought and crowdfunded at the front and then crowdfunded at the end, why are we now going to give somebody $180,000 to make this film when they should have profits carrying over from their other films to feed into this film? Because that's usually how a film company works, or a production company or whatever. Usually you take the money that you required from the last film, put it into the next project, so you wouldn't have to ask for crowdfunding donations. So to me,
hey, you could start your own film company and do what you want.
Yeah, hold on, Pressure. Hold on, Black Pressure. I'm gonna let you get in there. Let's just let him finish up because I'm just trying to figure out exactly where this is going. But go ahead. Go ahead, Owl. You should be unmuted. Can you hear me?
The answer successful.
Oh, there it goes. There's the mic right there. There it is. Mic check. So all I'm saying is this is kind of like a situation where it's falling under the category of Hegelian dialectic. Present a problem, then present a solution, and then present a synthesis for that solution. So the problem is gatekeeping our culture, FBA culture. Puerto Ricans are trying to claim they started hip hop. Jamaicans are trying to claim they started hip hop. That's the problem, right? So the solution is we need to fix the narrative and talk about what we did, blah, blah, blah. So the solution is, or so the synthesis is taking that problem, I'm going to now make a film to make money off of it, whereby which I'm the only profiteer. Now, we might all be able to profit from this information, but I think ultimately the conversation is actually giving us an opportunity to research on our own. We don't need one person to give us this information. And honestly, I don't think it's necessary that it go through this vehicle and this vacuum of information because it's a false narrative that doesn't need to be fully explained the way that, like, I think it's a fake reaction everyone's having. It's fake outrage. Oh, the Jamaicans said this. Well, the facts supersede everything. Just because Busta Rhymes and Fat Joe said one or two things here and there doesn't mean that the history doesn't speak for itself. And so I feel like opportunism is at the forefront of this, and I don't think it's actually just trying to fix the narrative. Because what do we gain out of fixing the narrative? Are any of us going to gain any money out of this? No. Is it going to change the direction? And actually, I'll make my last point. I think it was extremely cheap, immature, and unconscious that Tariq Nasheed is now fighting and going against Dante Ross, who is a huge part of why a lot of hip-hop artists were successful, and is somebody who was actually at the forefront of the culture, somebody who made sure that Brand Nubian was taken care of, somebody who made sure that KMD and MF Doom were taken care of, somebody who made sure that Souls of Mischief were taken care of, and who actually understood the culture from the perspective of the artist.
Well, real quick,
that Dante Ross is crazy.
Real quick, Owl Chief. Real quick, Owl Chief, because it seems like you have an issue now. You haven't had an issue, and it's I don't know where to begin here. You haven't had an issue with all of the stuff that people have been putting in books and papers and everything else. You have all kind of media throughout the country sitting here saying that that Latinos and Caribbean people created hip hop and this and that or whatever. Nobody had an issue with that. They've spent millions of dollars for promoting that. But now that you have some black people that's upset, and rightfully so, that they're being passed, because even when you had the vice president up there, Kamala Harris, she started mentioning everybody who contributed to hip hop except black Americans. So now that you got some black people that's upset because, hey, let's be for real. You talk about a group of people who've created all kind of things in this country, been bypassed and passed over, all kind of inventions that black Americans have invented, never given the credit for it, never given their full due. All of the musical genres that they created, passed over. You got a damn Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and people bitch and cry because black people, that quote unquote weren't in rock and roll are being inducted into this Hall of Fame. So I just find this a little bit odd that, I mean, let's be for real too. This is a capitalistic market. If somebody wanted to go ahead, and nobody stopped anybody else from going ahead and creating a documentary. If somebody wanted to go ahead and create a documentary before Tariq Nasheed, they had every right to go ahead and create a documentary before Tariq Nasheed. Now we have all these other people that have created movies and everything else, and they went ahead and they put their culture in there, and they've been saying this. Busta Rhymes has been very, very, very speaking very ill of black people in this country. Let's be for real. He's sitting up here talking about people ain't. Hold on. Don't come off your mic. Don't come off your mic. Don't come off your mic. He's been speaking very ill about black American culture, people not having culture, people coming over here bringing culture and this and that. He's talking about how Latinos and everybody else brought culture here and this and that. So you can't get upset that you got some black people that's pissed off. Bro, you came up into a culture that black Americans created, and you became a multimillionaire. And let's be for real, when everybody that comes up in the rap, it's always black Americans that co-sign. I don't give a damn if it's Eminem and now he's selling 30 million albums to white kids and stuff like that. It's black Americans that say, hey, this person is okay. This person is good. This person is straight. I like this person. You get co-signed by black Americans, and then you go ahead and you reap the benefits. Now, people sitting up here, because even Bob Marley was influenced by the likes of Stevie Wonder and Motown, but you don't hear people sitting up there. You don't hear people sitting up saying that kind of stuff. And you don't hear black people up here trying to take the credit, say, you know what? Well, we the reason that your biggest star that you ever had, he's a star because he really took a liking in our music and we influenced him and this and that or whatever. But it's like whenever a black person, especially a black American, creates something, everybody in the world got to complain and cry about something. So Tariq Nasheed, nobody stopped anybody else from going ahead. Nobody stopping nobody. He's not holding a gun to anybody's head. So you know what? You better go ahead and donate this money on Kickstarter. People are donating because that's what they want to do. If somebody wants to go ahead and donate to somebody, by all means, he's not defrauding people, he's not robbing people, he's not cheating people or whatever. Uh, hey, he has a method into how he's done his documentaries. It works for him. It works for the people that appreciate his movies, his documentaries, and everything else. So it's like the old going says: if it ain't broke, it don't need to be fixed. So if it's working, then hey, I don't see the issue with it. I don't see the problem with it. And the fact that you talk about this Dante cat who's sitting up here, and I don't care. Let's be for real. Dante's another white boy who done got himself, and I don't care how many black people he done helped out. He's another white boy who done got himself up in the black culture. He's done for all these people he done helped out. He done pretty good for himself off of black culture as well too, off of black talent, off of black music. So for all of the Negroes that he done helped, because we're not gonna play this white God savior complex right here because we got enough of that going on. For all the people he's helped, they more than likely they've helped him out as well too. He's able to build up a name for all of the Dantes. There's 1,000 of them that came before him that enriched themselves off of black talent. So he's not doing anything that wasn't done. He didn't create hip hop. And for somebody to sit up here and challenge him and say he wasn't even around when Hurting Them was around, so how in the hell does he know? So for somebody to go ahead and actually find people that was actually around for him to get up in his feelings and stuff, and if he was such a man, then he wouldn't have his tweets protected as well too. So we're not going to sit up here and tell all he's done for this person, all he's done for that person, because check it, black people have made these white executives billionaires, trillionaires off of their talent. And it's been happening since the days that you had black people putting out music and they had to put white boys on the cover so they can actually sell the damn music to their children. So we're not going to play that game right here, bro. We're not going to play up here and tell, oh, poor Dante. Oh, they picking on him. Oh, poor Dante. Oh, what did he messing with Dante? Dante done did all of this for the good nigga children, and look at how they treating him. No, Dante can go to hell. If Dante wanted to be a man and sit up here and talk like a man, then get your goddamn tweets off of protected tweets and sit up here and conversate. Since you said that you want to have that dialogue, you're willing to meet this man, and you're willing to have a discussion with him when the man tell you, hey, we can do it. You can have so-and-so bring you to my house. They've been to my house. They know where I live at. So as a man, if somebody wants to have that discussion, then he can come on out here and have that discussion. But we're not going to play this game of all the damn record labels that done took people publishing over the years, own the damn images, their name, their likeness, and everything else, enriched themselves off of black talent, taking black talent, created things and stuff like that, parallel it to billions of damn dollars. And we're going to sit up here and talk about, well, he's been treated wrong and he's done this and he's done that. Don't come off your mic, bro. Don't come off your mic because I let you talk. That's straight up. Now, I'm going to let you respond to that, but we're not going to play that game. Dante came out, okay? He came out. He started saying something. Okay, it wasn't even addressed to him. But the fact of the matter that he's one of these AR people, and apparently he has something that he wants to protect. He came out and he started going in and started saying this and that or whatever. So, hey, when you jump in something that has nothing to do with you and none of your damn business, when you get hit with the ricochet, don't start crying and whining about it. He wanted to be a big boy. Now pull up his pants and be a big boy and take your ass whipping like a man. Now come on, come off your mic and let me hear what you got to say.
Yeah. So speaking of not crying and taking it like a man and all of that, well then I would say the same for anybody who's ever signed a contract. You should have read that entire contract and understood what every word was until you signed it. So nobody ever took anything. People were signing their rights away all of these years because they didn't want to read the contracts. That's the fault of the artist. That's nothing to do with the label. Now that goes. That's really. Are you
saying that none of these labels shitted on people and stole money from them?
Nope.
Okay. They've stolen money from white artists, so they've shitted on black artists.
As an artist signing a contract, which is legally bound, you have every fiduciary responsibility to understand every word in that contract, every clause, every letter, every jot and tittle before you sign it. This is a fact above all else. So whether or not people make music and rights and intellectual property rights get stolen is one thing, right? But like if I just put out a video on YouTube right now for free and it was a genius idea and I didn't do anything to protect it, that's my damn fault. It's not your fault for stealing it and making money off of it. It's my fault. Nobody's going to give you anything in this world at all, ever, unless you're talking about charity. This is called the music business. It means you are responsible for yourself, what you do, what you say, how you act, everything. So any other argument just sounds like whining, and you should pull your pants up because everybody should be aware of what they're signing. I'm studying contract law because I'm studying to become an insurance agent. So this is all contracts. Everything that we're talking about is words on paper. I don't care if you have all the words on tape and that's your shit and whatever. If you don't do anything to protect it, if you don't do anything to protect it, that's your damn fault. You didn't protect your liability. You left the risk out there for yourself to eventually have to eat later, and you allowed somebody else to take power.
Dude.
So we're talking about power dynamics. If we're saying claim this and claim that and whatever, we're talking about power dynamics. We're not talking about, oh, they should be nice to me. They should tell me everything. No, you signed a contract. If you just want to make music and give it to your friends, then do that. Then do that.
You hear this nigga?
I'm gonna let y'all. And matter of fact, Black Pressure, chill. I'm gonna let y'all actually go in because I said what I gotta say. Everybody got their hands up. I'm gonna let them go ahead. I'm gonna let him finish. I'm gonna drop him now because I don't want him cutting people off. And I'm gonna let all of y'all get y'all a chance to go in. So don't just chill.
Yes, this is the music business. This isn't recreational music. This isn't a hobby. If you make music and you sell it and you are in any of the RIAA or any of these institutions where your music is cataloged, placed, and you belong to these institutions, these contracted institutions, and you sign these things, then yes, you are liable. You are legally obligated to whatever they stipulate in the contract. If you want to renegotiate your contract and get a better lawyer, then yes. But ultimately, this is the fault of the artists. And many artists can say this over the years. A lot of artists say that they regret not reading their contracts and not having better lawyers, so forth and so on. This can be said for anything. So whether or not your opinion about charity, this is called music business. Business is the main factor in this. So anybody else complaining about how somebody did something as an A&R, as a whatever executive, that's their business. You have the right to contest that and protect yourself. So that being said, yes, people do steal, people do take, people do exploit because they're left open for such things.
Okay, land your plane because we're finna get to the hands up.
Right. So ultimately, my point is, there's no reason for us to give somebody $180,000 to prove something that we could prove with our own eyes. Secondly, the person who's doing that is trying to profit and mislead most of the people into thinking something that's not necessarily true. There were many people who contributed to the development of hip-hop. Black, white, Latino, Asian, Jamaican, Caribbean, African. Tons of people did. Who are the principals? We know who they are. Who's the face of it? We know who it is. Everything else, though, was supplementary. Everything else is...
But that wasn't a discussion. That wasn't a discussion. It wasn't about who contributed. It was about who created it. And you know this. So let's stop being trying to mix it up or whatever. But we're gonna go ahead and we got some people up in the space too. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get to Black Pressure because I know he wants to say something. And we got a number of other hands up. Oh, skip you, Pressure. Okay.
Yeah, I'm stuff in my face. I'll come back.
Okay, well let me get to Grinds. I know Grinds came up in here, so we're gonna get to the hands up here. So go ahead, Grinds.
Piece of the host, piece of the room. Notice how this brother just moved the conversation. We talking about people trying to latch on to the claims of creation of hip hop and the culture, and he want to switch and move the goalposts to them. People not reading the contract thoroughly and all that stuff. Come on, man. You're losing the argument. You already made yourself. That's not a good thing whatsoever. You're already losing the conversation. But see, this is the thing. Like all these, the problem that we're getting is from mostly tethers and Pan Africans. In fact, one of y'all is in the room right now when people were trying to give me grief and constantly move the goalposts. Somebody tried to troll in a space that I was in earlier where they were talking about, the Scots created gospel and all of that. And they're going off of something that, was on Wikipedia. And everybody knows that, you can't rely on Wikipedia or whatever they say, because that stuff gets changed 11 million times a day. So, none of that information is consistent. They're really trying to just claim that other people created all different elements to our music, all the genres we created, because we basically created all of them. One of the arguments that somebody gave me earlier in that space was that, it was created in New York. Okay, yeah, just because New York is a hotbed for immigrants don't mean that they created, what we created. In fact, what I had put in the chat for this particular space, and Newstoter put it in the Jumbotron, was Big Pun but still not a player, saying thank you Boricua for accepting, thank you hip hop for accepting Boricua. So all of these claims that Fat Joe is making that, they created it or created 50-50, Pun debunked while he was, shooting that video. So his Pun statement itself right there is letting you know that that's something that they, was involved in, and they were embraced, they were received into that culture. So if you're received into a culture, that means it already existed. Just like how they're trying to give Kool Herc credit for something that Kool Herc don't even take credit for. If he said that he came over here at the age of 12 and he took all these different elements from something that already existed here, that don't mean that he created it. And he'll tell you, it's like these people are like, all these people are opportunists. The opportunities are endless to try to take the history away from us. This is war. And it's like, this is psychological war in the midst of all kind of other types of war against Black Americans. Y'all want to try to take credit for everything. It's like these white supremacists taking credit over all these inventions that everybody's using to this day. It's because the white man existed while the enslaved created everything that everybody's using right now. Does that mean that they get to claim 50% or shit? They didn't even claim 50%. They claim, entitlement to the whole thing. But it took everybody, I'm finna land, but this is the thing. We owe it to our community to gatekeep everything, every aspect of it, the entertainment, business, everything, because they're trying to strip all of it away from us. It's good to pass down inheritance, like financial and other assets and things like that. But one of the other things that's very important to pass down is the history of our lineage. Every other community is passing down information, like all the Chinese are passing down all these stories, the Jews are passing down all these stories. Every other community is passing all kinds of stories. We need to pass down the right information to our lineage, from generation to generation. I'm very appreciative for this space. I'm very appreciative for Tariq, getting some straightening done with this documentary, because everybody's in their motherfucking feelings. Excuse me.
Real talk. Thank you, Grimes. Real quick, guys, make sure you support on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, $Newstoter, Newstoter. If you do not have Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron. And Grimes, I'm going to say this real quick before I get to our next speaker. Now, this brother, he tripped me out now. He doesn't have an issue with any of these executives throughout the years ripping people off and just taking money and stealing it from left and right. That's their fault. They should have knew better. They should have read the contract. Dumb nigga, you should have knew how to read and this and that or whatever. But now somebody else that's going out here legally going out here, getting people to actually donate of their own free will, not ripping people off, not selling them some pipe dream, anything like that, telling you straight up that, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to go ahead, and people seeing the actual proof, actually seeing everything get done for them. But that person is a thief. That person is a crook there. But the people that done stole billions of dollars, not only from Black people, but from their own people as well, too. Let's be for real. Maybe not to the point they did Black people, but done stole billions of dollars from people, created their own little fortunes and stuff like that off of other people's talent and hard work. That person is okay. But the Black person that's going up here putting out documentaries and you know what I'm saying? The same thing like
it's usually worse when your own kind do.
Yeah, I know it is. Of course, don't come off your mic, bro. Don't come off your mic. Okay, of course it is. You don't have that content in your heart for the white man, but you sure got it for the other people. Now, and let me guess. If you come off your mic again, bro, I'm going to drop you. I'm telling you, don't come off your mic anymore. You said I let you say what you had to. I didn't come off the mic. We let you talk. You're going to give the host the same respect that I gave you, okay? Of course it is. That's the same thing when you start hearing people talk about the Black-on-Black crime. It don't matter exactly if a cop who gets paid off your taxes come to your house and blow your brains out. First thing they say when they have contempt towards Black people, well, what about all them niggas out there killing each other? Y'all don't care about that. It ain't that many white cops out there killing Black people. Okay, here we go. And I just told you not to come off your mic. See, that's how disrespectful you are. So let me go ahead and drop you down because I'm not conflating a damn thing. I'm telling you how it is, and you're the exact same kind. You couldn't even show any discipline by just standing on your microphone. So come on. Yeah, this dude here. Letitia, I believe it is. I don't want to mispronounce your name.
Thank you, Newstoter. I've never spoken in your space, so thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I'm going to hit up your Cash App after I finish speaking. But the statements from persons that individual creators should not. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry about that. Individual creators should not use the crowdfunding as a source to raise money to promote or create money for film is crazy. And I love the comment you made. I was going to make it that this individual is on one hand saying a person is wrong for crowdfunding to make a movie that many people want to see and that many people as adults have the right to put their money towards, but yet it's completely okay for Black folk who traditionally didn't have access to attorneys. It's okay for them to be screwed in these horrible adhesion contracts. And historically, we all know that since the beginning of our time, since the beginning of our time in this country, when we created something, our creative works were stolen. We create the work and they go patent a technology that we create. If we created a song, they would go copyright it under their name. And we still see folks to this day who are intelligent, have access to attorneys, getting screwed by these folks who basically have the ability to put them in put our creative talent in a position where they don't have the same bargaining power. If you look at Chuck D had bad contract. Chuck is very intelligent, but he himself signed away some of his publishing rights. Stevie Wonder, one of my favorite artists, had an attorney who screwed him over. This attorney had Stevie Wonder sign a contract where Wonder would continue to have to pay this manager / attorney's family indefinitely, in perpetuity. So his manager died, but after the manager died, Wonder would have to pay the manager's children, his grandchildren. And these are the types of contracts that our people have unfortunately signed. And Stevie claims to have signed it while a young man and blind. And so you've got this person here saying that's okay, that whatever a person signs, they must adhere to. That is rooted in anti-Blackness. He didn't come into this conversation in good faith, in my opinion. He has some preconceived ideas that not even preconceived ideas, because he said that hip hop is something we all share, which is a lie from the pit of hell. It's a lie from the pit of hell. We don't all share that. And it's this notion that when we create something, it belongs to the world. But when they create something, it belongs to them. The second point I wanted to make was somebody said psychological warfare. That's exactly what this is. I mean, like, seriously, how can you know? And they know we've created this stuff. They know we've created it, but then you're going to just outright lie. I don't know the history like many of you do, but apparently Kool Herc himself said that we created it, and all of them know that Kool Herc attributed the creation of hip hop to us, but that's still not enough. And so, yes, it's this psychological warfare that they're doing, and I'm glad that this film is being created. I hope that many more of us create films, and even if they're YouTube type films or films where you're using your iPhone to create creative works to show what we've created, because the theft is real. It's we all know that they have been stealing our works from the beginning of time, but what I am witnessing is young white boys now coming into grade schools and teaching courses on hip hop. This happened at my daughter's school, and it just blew me away. And I had to tell her that no, hip hop was not created by a multicultural identity of people, and that it was created by us. So they're starting to rewrite and revise history. So I'll land on that, and thank you for letting me speak.
No problem. Thank you, sister. And let me add this one thing. First, let me give a shout out to my man Trenton Makes. Trenton, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. But like we was talking about the contracts, and this is not even music, but Joe Louis, the second black heavyweight champion of all time. Joe Louis, when he got ready to fight for the heavyweight championship, had to sign a contract with this white dude that was a champion. I believe it was James Braddock. That James Braddock was going to get a portion of whatever Joe Louis made from the rest of his boxing career, just so he would have the opportunity to fight for the heavyweight championship. I mean, that just goes to show you how crazy things are, and the way black people, have been done throughout time in this country right here. He had to go ahead and give away a portion of his future earnings just to have a chance in a country that's it's all about pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, and you come over here and you work hard and this and that. It goes to show you exactly how everything was put against you. So just put that into perspective as well too. We got a good amount of hands up. Let me go ahead and get to the international show. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Peace to everybody in the room. Is the guy still in the room? Because you dropped him down. I wish you wouldn't have dropped him.
I dropped him down because he wasn't gonna let anybody. He didn't like what I had to say, and he was gonna keep. Yeah, he was gonna keep interrupting. That's what it was.
Is he still here?
I don't know. He may be in the space. I'm not sure.
He playing like a teller, yo. He playing like a teller. Go ahead, though, son.
Yeah, I wanted to address him directly because this is some bullshit. Like, first of all, for him to come out here and to defend a culture and come and tell black people that we're out of pocket and say that we're talking crazy because he wants to defend this culture vulture, it's absurd, And then, I have a problem with when it comes to business. Why do we have to, as black people, not support someone that's going out of their way? First of all, if Tariq Nasheed wasn't allowed to make money doing what he does, then we would not have none of those documentaries. We would have none of that stuff. It's okay for someone to make money. That's his profession. It's okay for him to make money to do what he does. But you want to do it for free? That's ridiculous. Let him make. He deserves all the money he makes for making these documentaries. That's one. And two, the dude was condescending as hell, like to talk to us about contracts, like we don't understand what the hell a contract is. Talking to us like we're kids in the classroom that he's teaching. That's bull crap. Like, and another thing, when we spoke about the music, I don't know if it was him, somebody was speaking about the music, and he said it came down to the funk. That's one thing we have to do when we start to prove the receipts that we have, that we are the creators of everything, because all of music, all genres of music is a part of hip hop. Without funk, without rock, disco, all the stuff that we use to sample, and as DJs we spun the breaks of these records, is all came from us. You can't point to no Puerto Rican creation before or after hip hop that we use for any damn thing. You can't point to any Caribbean, Jamaican creation that we use for anything in any of our genres of music. That's our receipt alone. So, you know, for this dude to come in with this bull crap is like, I don't know what I'll land there because that's all I wanted to say. I just want, you know.
It was crazy. You know, the simple fact that this dude, he had an issue with Tariq Nasheed. You know, you have a personal issue with a man, that, you know, that's your thing. But then he wants to sit up here and he wants to talk about how great this white dude was, to talk about how much he's done for black people and this and that or whatever. First off, that's his. I mean, that was the part I just didn't understand. Like, but I did understand it, because you always have that. You're sitting up here and you're talking about somebody that, like I say, Tariq isn't making anybody donate. People donating because they want to. They want to see the work. They want to see it. He's got a track record with doing these documentaries and everything else. So, you know, I don't see the issue with that. It was just like yesterday. You had this fool. I tweeted out something. Real quick, international, real quick. Let me say this one part out, because it's just like yesterday. I tweeted out something about the Israel and Palestine straight off of the website and stuff like that. I had this nigga come up in my comments telling me, talking about I'm caping for the white man's war and this and that. I'm like, bro, this is a media outlet right here. We report the news. We report the news here in America, and tell about, but that's not the point. Tell about, you need to simply do what you just tell about. You used to be about black news. Now you're sitting up here and you're worrying about a war over there. I'm like, fool, this is world news here. You know, maybe some black people don't understand this, but that there are black people who got kids and family members in the damn United States Army. I come from an Army family. You know, you can trace my people back, fighting back into the Spanish American War and all of this other stuff. Don't sit up here and talk about what I need to do. I'll go ahead, and if it's newsworthy, we're gonna go ahead and put it out. And that's just not the same way been putting out news talking about the thing going over there with Kenya and Haiti, talking about the same way we putting out things about Russia and Ukraine, the same way we talking about Niger and everything else. Yes, we deal with Black American news, we deal with black news, but we also deal with world news and current events and topics as well too. And to have people sitting up here telling you what you can and can't do with your platform, like Black Pressure said, if you don't like it, then you can go out and you can create your own platform, create your own documentary. Nobody's stopping you from doing anything. Go ahead, International. I'm gonna let you go ahead real quick.
No, I just wanted to know where it was dude from. Like he just sounded like just an
that he had dreams. There you go.
I don't know where the hell he from, but he made absolutely no sense. I'll say that much.
LA, big city of dreams. That's where he from.
Let me go ahead. I see we got Black Pressure. You ready to speak now?
Oh, Black Pressure. You probably sipping on some mimosas real quick. Let me get in there real quick. Pressure, yes, sir. For sure. So, hey, look.
Hold on. Pressure. He's about to go ahead and speak. Let him go ahead and speak.
No, go ahead, BJ. It's quick. Go ahead. He's still eating the fried chicken. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's called baked chicken. Hey, I was see, you know, we twins, we're brothers, we're happy, and then we're singing, and we're color. Give me a high five. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, Audio Cyrus, Tariq gonna smack you out in LA when we catch you. You hating on a guy for what, son? You know what I'm saying? Because you can't do what the
that was an Audio Cyrus cat there?
Oh,
Lord.
Grandpa, I'm gonna send you a reparations DVD, Newstoter. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. That nigga's hater number one. Hey, shout out to the liquor store. I see my cuz Gov up here, or was up here. Come on up here if you can hear me, cuz. Let's talk about how he got kicked out the liquor store and shit, how Morgan got him up out of here, yo. I got some stories on that, but I'll post them to the purple chat in a second. But yeah, with that being said, hip-hop documentary, microphone check, trailer got the folks mad. Hey, shout out to my sis, Mouthy Megan. She been telling us, hey, look, you better start gatekeeping your culture because they coming to take it. Look at these people over here cosplaying as you, and they getting the Martin Luther King Jr. scholarship. Ain't that for your black kids' trouble? Ain't that supposed to be for your kids' new stuff? The Martin Luther King scholarship? Ain't the Malcolm X scholarship supposed to be? Well, I guess you could put it all, but that's our knacker too. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody else really out here trying to claim it. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. The Ida B. Wells, award, how that's going to the Tether gang, yo. HBCUs crowning black women from other parts of the world as HBCU homecoming queen. If you don't get your ass up out of here, no, it can't go down like that. You know what I mean? You got all the other tether gang up in the HBCUs. They're getting their peoples up in there. This shit is a motherfucking problem. So, like Grind said, everybody follow Grind's TV too. You want to buy it? You know what I mean? Like he said, that's some disrespectful shit. You coming up here, order your tether. You know what I'm saying? Order your silence. With the recatch, he gonna do the mix lottery. My bad. Go ahead, y'all.
Go ahead, Pressure.
Hey, what's up, Black family? How's everyone? So, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna try to make it quick. We need to all get together and let's find his cash up. Let's everybody send him money because he definitely needs therapy. Because, like you said, News, it maybe took him 30 seconds and he couldn't hide. He hates Tariq. He hates Tariq. He didn't care anything about the topic. He hates Tariq. Gonna tell him, man, oh, it should take $180,000. Nigga, what would you rather, give your money to a black man and make him rich, or give your money to a white man and make him rich? Bitch, nigga. But anyway, moving on from that, I'm gonna be the villain for a minute, right? So I know, everybody knows I got love for New York. I do. But I will say this. All the history in New York, all the literally legends that walk the street and have walked the street, and the neighborhoods and the people and the things that came out of New York. Why does it take a nigga from California to run down niggas that's lying in New York? I still don't get that. Tariq had to come from across the coast to run people down in New York, and people already alluded to it because I sat and listened for a while. I guess you could say the concrete in New York, the dirt and the soil, they wouldn't stand up and say it. But Tariq had to come from across the coast. I was like, Jason, I've said it before. Jason Black always said that's why niggas don't mess with New York. Right there. I don't get it. Tariq shouldn't have had to open his mouth. Like I said, all that power and that history in New York, Tariq shouldn't have had to do anything. When Busta Rhymes, not only was Busta Rhymes telling lies about the creation of hip hop, he was disrespecting Black Americans. Period. You could throw the hip hop out. You could throw that out. When he said we didn't have culture, nigga, we painted the world with culture. What do you mean we don't have culture? But I'm gonna leave that alone. Going back to Nice Guy again. And News, did you hear when the dude said we shouldn't give him Tariq $180,000 and he's trying to mislead people?
I heard him.
Rich, right?
I heard him.
Look, with the same mouth, the nigga. I mean, not 90 seconds later, he said, "If a record company robs you, that's on you." Ain't that amazing? If a white man does you wrong, that's okay. But when black people voluntarily give their money to another black man, bloody fucking murder. I'll mute up and listen. I'll come back and talk later, but I'll mute up and listen.
I couldn't believe that this fool got up here and actually said that as well too. I was at a loss for words too when he said that. I'm like, this is what blind hate looks like right here. And he came and he made sure. Not only did he say that about Tariq, but he made sure he defended this white boy like this white boy was his damn daddy up here. He's sitting up here talking about how great he was.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
One more thing. All those groups he named that he said that white boy somehow looked up for. News. I'm willing to bet this. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this. My precious grandmother, who's passed away, who's partly responsible for the person that I am today. I'm willing to put money on her grave that if you go talk to all of those groups he named, I bet you all of them broke. All of them are broke, or all of them got robbed by this so-called same, not just the individual, But the same people that he said said taking care of, I guarantee you all of them got money taken from when I'm muting list.
Well, and I'm gonna kick it to my girl Trouble, but I'm gonna say this real quick. According to him, Black Pressure, if they did get robbed or they missing coins, and that's their fault. You know, that ain't his fault. That's their fault. So, you know.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And when we voluntarily give money to a black man, we're misinformed. You're right.
Oh yeah. Like I said, this dude was something else right there. I know you were saying collect this money and give it to him. I can think of a better place. If you want to donate, you can donate on Cash App the Newstoter, $Newstoter. We'll put the content out there. Trust me. Don't worry about giving it to this Tom here. Go ahead and give it to a black media that's constantly out there working hard every day. Newstoter, Newstoter. Let me get my girl Trouble up here. Trouble, what's going on tonight? I know you probably been cracking up listening to this here.
Toter, you know I have. What's up, family? How's everybody doing tonight?
What's up?
What up? Shout out to everybody in the group. Listen, I don't know what's up with these Negro opinions coming up in the space tonight. You know, obviously somebody forgot to tell them that weed's free. Weed's free now. Y'all can stop riding the white man's bike. I mean, hop off already. Hop the hell off of the white man's bike. Hand him back his nuts. It's really okay for you to take them about your mouth. It's ironic on Columbus Day how Mugs is coming up in here talking about basically saying how it's okay for mugs to steal black creations. I mean, via whether it's through written or video or whatever curation, or whether it's through contractual agreements. Y'all are literally saying that it's okay to steal black creations because you didn't have it written, you didn't have it curated properly, you didn't have it, you didn't read the contract thoroughly. If y'all don't get y'all monkey asses the hell up out of here with that bullshit, because you know it's bullshit, just like we know it's bullshit. You know, it's crazy to me how he's really sitting here like Steven hugging on this white man. Oh my God, you're taking money out of the white man's mouth and you're giving it to a Negro. How dare you? Hop off. I'm just gonna say it simple as that. Hop the hell off. And as far as our curation of our creation goes, we have the receipts. That's why there's a documentary. But it's sad that it took Tariq to have the documentary because nobody has the balls to say it. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. You know, and it's quite funny. You know, but I get it because a lot of music executives, just like a lot of people in the music business in New York, you don't want to give up them that dime. You don't want to stifle your money, and that's understandable. But at the same time, you don't have to stifle your money. Just shut the fuck up. Stop saying that black folks don't have culture. Stop being anti-black towards black Americans just because you found out in recent years that, you know, or because you're now comfortable saying my parents come from another nation. So you want to give, you know, credence or cadence or whatever the word is to the nation in which you came from because you're participating in a black American creation. You don't get to do that. You know, and Big Daddy Kane, it's funny because I was looking on Wikipedia because I wanted to see what Wikipedia says. Big Daddy Kane is from South Carolina. He's from a small town in South Carolina called Bowman. But if you didn't know that, because I went to school with his people when I was exiled to South Carolina when I was 15 years old for a year. We ain't gonna talk about why I was exiled here for that year. But I went to school with his people. He's from Bowman, South Carolina, a little small ass town. But if you didn't know it, he'd have you believe his ass was born and raised in New York. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. And that's one reason, and I said it in the last space, and I know, DJ, you're going to have something to say, but the reason why, like a Big Herc or Cool Herc, whatever his name is, isn't coming out saying the truth like he once did in a video about who really created it is because people keep big upping him as the creator of it. Once you get used to the fame and people saying it, you don't want to go against the narrative, and there's no telling who else is telling him, hey, don't don't go on a documentary and say what you've already said because, you know, we got this narrative going out here. You think that these A&R people and these music execs want to tell the truth of where this music actually came from? No, they don't. And you know why? Because it's about that money. As long as they can let the lie go that hip-hop was created from all of these other diverse groups of people that just happen to be a part of it now, you know, that's money. That's money in their pocket if they can let that lie go. Because as you see with the music, the people who are coming out nowadays, they're all from different places. It's not a whole lot of Black Americans that are actually headlining, that are actually getting the radio play, that are actually being promoted as such. We got to go deep underground to find our music, where they're literally promoting this degenerate music that is coming from other nations. So if they can say, hey, well, these other groups participated in, you know, a part of the creation, they'll let that lie go all day long. But how come you all didn't have your own documentaries saying this beforehand? But Tariq comes out with a documentary, and now all of a sudden you got people in the industry telling him he's being divisive. Divisive how? Because we're going against the goddamn narrative that y'all want to put out? There's an old saying, if the hunter is the one that's telling the story, the lion is always gonna, and I'm paraphrasing, but the lion is always gonna look like the aggressor of the story. And so for so long we've had the hunters out here telling our stories, you know, via their media platforms, that anytime we come out and we say, no, that's not really how it went, everybody looking at us kind of side-eye, even though the receipts is right there. Because we got the media, BET, white-owned company that's telling these lies. So we can say what we want to say. So Tariq's documentary is all of a sudden divisive. No, it's not divisive. It's just hitting on that truth that you mugs is refusing and unwilling to come out and say. And I'll leave it at that. And I'll be back.
All right. Thank you, Trouble. We go, Bracy, I'm gonna get to you, and Miss Edens, I'm gonna get to you too. We got a couple new speakers up in here, so I want to get to the new speakers, and I'm gonna get back to you guys as well too. So just hang tight. Let me go get the governor, and then I'm gonna get to a beautiful governor. What's going on with you? How you doing?
Nah, DJ woke me up, so I'm here. What's up, DJ? He talking all that shit.
Good, cuz, what's good, cuz? Now you missed the order of your silence dummy and shit. That's all, you know. I was trying to get you in the lab. I ain't know you could sleep, nigga. Go on, man.
Nah, I was putting the baby to bed. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you this, right? I'm tired of seeing Fat Joe on my timeline. Man. Why do y'all give this nigga so much, you know what I'm saying, attention? So because you niggas love giving Fat Joe attention, tomorrow in the stove space, I'm putting out all Fat Joe's music versus Black American music. And let's see how much attention y'all gonna give that nigga. I'm doing it on purpose. Because y'all keep that nigga on my timeline. Shout out to Tariq for putting out that documentary. I will be watching it. But DJ, you know you wrong for what you said, man.
What I do, cuz?
You ain't bringing up Morgan and shit, man. I was having a good night, man. Come on.
All right.
Billy in the building, nigga. Let's go.
So slide through the store, man. We're gonna be open tomorrow night around 9. And all the independent artists, I want to platform your music as well. So I'm gonna have a whole space where you can send me your songs, play them, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. But then we're gonna get into Joseph Carter Jr. versus hip hop. So I look forward to seeing y'all.
All right. Appreciate that, Governor. Appreciate you, Governor. Let me go ahead and get to Beautiful. Beautiful, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay, thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm driving, so hopefully I don't cut out. I just have a few things to say. Yes, New Yorkers probably should have stood up a long time ago, but right now we are in a bad position, and it's been that way for a long time. Our backs are against the wall, and I believe that we needed reinforcement, or New York did, just like California needed reinforcement when we was all on those doggone task force inside those task force meetings and also calling in. So right now what's happening is that it is a cat call for all Black Americans, no matter where you at, to back this stuff. To back not only with this hip hop stuff, with reparations and anything else that's going down. So I wanted to put it out there. And yes, again, New York should have been on it, but things is bad up there, obviously. It got to be real bad for stuff to go down like this. And yes, a lot of us are quiet, but a lot of our history is not out there like it should be, right? So a lot of people don't know. Hell, even a lot of New Yorkers what's going on with the law. Matter of fact, I'm going to even take it a little bit farther. Even Tariq, a couple of years ago, was saying something about the Jamaican stuff. But like I said, I'm glad that people was putting bugs in each other's ears like we're doing now, guys, right? With our history and everything else. Like, hold up, and we're doing our own research and pulling everything else and hooking each other up. So now we're on it the correct way. But, okay, I'm driving, guys, so that's all.
All right. Thank you, beautiful. Let me go ahead.
Oh, thank you.
Let me go ahead. Hey DJ, I see your boy Audio Cyrus. He blowing me up with the tagging me and Tariq. hey, he tagging us like crazy. I think it was QT up here. He put the little coon side with him up in the dumpster or whatever. Since then, hey, he tagging like crazy trying to get somebody's attention. Oh my Lord! Let me go ahead and get the.
It's okay though, the big dough. You know what I'm saying? And Sister Trouble, I ain't from Sedgwick Ave. I'm sorry, I'm from Club America. Look up Club Zanzibar. Look up Twin City. Look up Sensations. Look up Club 88. Look up the Black Box. That's where I'm from. I'm on that house shit, but I fuck with this hip hop. And we've been told cats like Tyler Quality to shut the F up. You know what I'm saying? For the record system. A lot of us out here have been going crazy, but we don't got a voice like Tariq. So this is why this whole shit's fire. You know what I mean? Real shit. Go ahead. I'm from Jersey, not New York. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Let me go.
Jersey nigga had to say something. Trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Let me go ahead and get the Bracy, and then Miss Eddings. Go ahead, Bracy.
Okay, just to kind of recap, when I started down this path, you guys are touching on everything that I began with. Grimes stated we have to pass down information. Letitia stated create and curate. Newstoter, you came back and said world news, entertainment, social issues is what your site is about. I heard gatekeep culture, and Black Pressure came along and he says, why is a person from the West Coast curating information that's East Coast oriented? Well, think about this. Ultimately, if you're gatekeeping, and we're saying media is this juggernaut that it is. If you look up the legal definition of media, it actually includes telephone, fax, internet, billboard, radio, direct mail, newspaper, magazines, TV. The devices we're on are the smartphone. Our abilities to all be together communicating is the internet. We are the media. And we're responsible for curating various aspects of our own culture. That will stop others from having to come in and curate it on our behalves. Will that stop others from disseminating a message that may get more spin, more views, maybe louder? Not necessarily. But the more people who are presenting their bit of the curated, whatever they're presenting, it's that much more powerful. That was the point that I started out by making. I gave you a fictional movie in which a person, the spoken word, which is hip hop, and you guys got into the debate with the gentleman that got dropped down, where the spoken word is given to a person who is white hair, and they're controlling the spoken word. I went across the pond, the Atlantic Ocean, if you will, and gave an example that paralleled a person who had Braille book, Denzel in this book of Eli movie, to a person who's coming out of the Northern African region and coming across those teachings that are on the wall. The information that you find in abundance around the world, it ended up in Rome, in the Vatican, where they were printing, putting information together, curating, or Germany, where they were curating. And when you come back to the States, who's the group of people who control, who's the predominant group in Congress? What's the predominant ancestry in the U.S.? it's those of German descent. So once again, history repeats itself. That's why I began where I began. I didn't feel that I needed to start out by telling you who I listened to as far as AZ, Public Enemy, Slick Rick. I felt like if I was in the space, I must be hip hop. Or you'll figure it out quickly based on what comes out of my mouth. If you look at any information that I put up under the name that you see in this space, it doesn't take you long to figure out, yeah, the person behind this is definitely hip hop. I land with this. We have to be clear about what we tell young people when we use terms like gatekeeper, culture, pass down information. We're saying the same thing. We're saying curate. We're saying you have to make sure you have this information. And I don't mean specifically hip hop, whatever is of some significant importance to you. In this era, we don't have the excuse of not having access to media. We are part of the media, and the device we're using, this platform and what we're doing now is a direct reflection of it. That's where I was going, else.
All right, appreciate that, Bracy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me give a shout out to Bloom and Violets as well too. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your contribution on Cash App. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me go ahead and get to Miss Eddings. Miss Eddings, I know you've been waiting patiently. How you doing again?
Hey, I'm gonna hurry up and say what I gotta say. Shout out to the person that had big chicken, because that's what I made for dinner tonight. Number two, that guy was a wacko that came in here talking. And if anything, we should support black businesses. Anyway, speaking of support, Governor, tomorrow, if that's what you're gonna be playing, now I'm gonna let you know right now, Miss Edis will support you. But I'm telling you, I'm going to bed early. I'm gonna put it on. Don't send no mic to me. I don't want no mic, because you're gonna put me to sleep with Fat Joe anyway. And that's all I want to say. I love y'all so much. Y'all have a good night.
I'm here to prove a point, Miss Eddings.
No, the point is to put Miss Edis to sleep. That's what it is.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right, let me see. I think we got Stephanie. It might be might be. I'm not sure. Is it original or Stephanie turn? It might be original. Original. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay, what I want to say is this: what that guy called himself, the alchemist or whatever. Now he started referring.
That's Audio Cyrus. Like he done changed it. Yeah, that Joker. Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, I want to say this. He started calling us crazy if we didn't do certain things. Now that right there is a trope from slavery. I want you to look up this word, drapetomania. Drapetomania is a word that was developed by this crazy white psychiatrist or psychologist stating that if our people who were enslaved, if they ran away, they had to be crazy to leave the conditions that they were seeing. And that's how I see these people. And then it was brought up about Tariq doing crowdfunding. Now, if anyone who watches PBS, every 3 months, PBS is doing a fundraiser, trying to raise money. They don't have a limit. Well, yeah, they have limits of what they're trying to raise or whatever, but PBS does that same thing. But what? Nothing. Nobody says anything. Nobody says anything about that. And then as far as these contracts, I have someone who's married to a relative of mine. And they was, doing some music back in the 90s and stuff. And a person that is part of a famous group from Motown wanted them to sign this contract. He said, well, I can't sign this contract. He said, I'm going to have to have my father's attorney to, go over this contract, with me or for me, They got upset with him, stating that, well, apparently you don't want to be in this business then, because, you can sign this contract, and see, they do stuff like that, trying to force people to sign these contracts, which are not in their best interest. And then when they sign them, then they're jacked up for the rest of their lives. Like what was said about Stevie Wonder. But these people are paying these sorry ass people money in perpetuity. And one of the other things that someone said something about, the oral history and the printing and this, that, and whatever. Well, when I was in California, I was at this forum. Now, see, whether it's oral, whether the receipt is oral or written, if it's not telling the truth, that's not a receipt. I don't care what anybody says. See, I was at this forum years ago, and so an Ethiopian sister came in, and she spoke before the group, and she was looking for some assistance because, see, those Ethiopians were Dr. Ben warned them not to go to Is It Real, and they went over there. But see, when they got there, the white fake Jews wanted them to get rid of their scriptures. And they said, well, no, we can't get rid of this. Our ancestors left us this. Now, what you got isn't real. You see, so that's how a lot of this stuff get pushed on us, whereby people want you to believe that just because something is written down, that it's factual. No, it is not. See, they try to make it seem as if anyone that has an oral tradition is not putting out factual information. No, whether the information is oral or written, if it's not telling the truth, it is a lie. And that's just how that works. And so, and remember, remember the movie Straight Outta Compton. This small hat wanted Ice Cube to sign the contract. With the contract, as Steve Coakley taught us, it's a con, and they're just tracking how they're conning you. And so people need, and see, these people again, these are agents for the beast that want to come up and tell us all this stuff that they know it's not real. And so people are just astute nowadays to understand that, look, I'm not buying this, because the person that told me about how when they was gonna it's a well-named artist from Motown that wanted them to sign this contract. And see, what happened is a lot of these people, for example, Barry Gordy told the Supreme that they would get a 3% royalty. And he gave them a 3% royalty. He gave them 3% split 3 ways. But see, it was Mary Wilson who sued Motown, and she got her 3% royalty. Plus, she was able to get it for Florence Ballard, so her children could benefit off of the music that she helped them to make. See, and what's sad is that some of these black people, they go into this stuff. See, white people have ripped them off. Then they come in with that same degenerate mindset and do the same thing to their own people. And that's what's really beyond jacked up. And so people just have to understand, look, we have access now, and regardless of how, people want to raise their money or whatever, people have the right to do it. And let's not forget this part. This white boy named who was part owner of this Rolling Stone magazine, he wrote a book on so-called rock and roll and said that black people didn't have the intellect to talk about rock and roll. And what happened? People came out and told him, well, black folks invented that. What do you mean they don't have the intellect to have a discussion about what they created? See, this is about stealing and controlling black culture. And they get people out there all the time wanting them to assist them in stealing our culture so that we don't benefit. Well, I am not sorry, but those days are dead. We're not doing that any longer. So you're gonna have to find you someone else to leech off of. We're not going to allow you to be a parasite and drain us any longer. And that's it. And that's just what it is. But people need to understand that. Look, oral tradition is just as relevant as what is written down, as long as it is true. And I'll land with that.
All right. Thank you, Original. Appreciate you. I see my girl Stephanie came back in here. Tomorrow night, guys, like I said, we're going to be doing a discussion. We're going to have a space on Joe Biden. We're going to be talking about Joe Biden and building on the actual wall that he was so opposed to. Now Joe Biden is going to have to dig in the pockets, and they're going to have to come up and start building on this wall as well, too, on the border. So definitely join us tomorrow night, guys, as we will be discussing Joe Biden's wall. So if you guys have time, definitely come in and check that space out. Tomorrow night is going to be about Joe Biden's wall. Shout out to everybody in the space, guys. Make sure up in the jumbotron we have the actual poll up in there. It's the third or second on the right hand side about are you going to check out the actual documentary when it comes out? We got 310 votes. Let's see if we can get some more people to vote. If you have already voted, go ahead and tweet it out. Go ahead and retweet out the actual poll. Like I said, I believe it's the third on the right hand side. So if you haven't voted, definitely go ahead and participate. Vote in the poll. Definitely also go ahead and retweet it out. For those up in the you up here, we have the YouTube channel up in the jumbotron as well too. So definitely go ahead and subscribe to the Newstoter YouTube channel. That's in the actual middle of the actual jumbotron. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube. We're trying to grow it out. We're closing in on 1,000. We're not quite there, but definitely help us get there. So if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please definitely subscribe. That's for everybody on YouTube as well. Definitely share, like, comment on tonight's broadcast. Subscribe as well for those that may be listening for the first time. Definitely for those that can support us on Cash App, we definitely need it. Growing the Black media site, that's $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Like I said before, we are the largest Black-owned, Black American-owned, also largest Black American-owned news media curation platform today in America. Let me just clarify that again: largest Black American-owned news media curation platform in America. $Newstoter, $Newstoter. If you do not have Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the jumbotron. For those on YouTube, those are up in the description as well too. Let me go ahead and kick it back to Stephanie. Stephanie, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you, Newstoter. I just wanted to say that a lot of people are saying that it's New York's fault. First off, I just wanted to let everybody know that New York has been speaking out about it. They've been speaking out it for many years, which is why Melly Mel, one of the main ones that have been speaking out against it for many years. And then you had the Zulu Nation, and then you had the Black Spades. But of course, a lot of people like that didn't have the voice to speak out without it getting drowned out. There are a couple of articles of them voicing their dislike for how the culture is changing. They didn't like the way the current state of hip hop was, and they were absolutely right. You know, a lot of people still don't know, especially here. And I've confronted several people about what was being said about hip hop. And the first thing that came out of their mouth was they were truly surprised by what was being said, because everybody knows who created it. You know, you do have some ignorant folks like myself. I have to admit that several years ago, until I woke up and listened to the truth, and it's really opened my eyes. A lot of people was not aware that it was created by us. We literally thought that it's because wordplay plays a big part in how things get out and comprehension as well. So a lot of people was truly not aware that it wasn't created by Cool Herc. It was actually created by us. And a lot of people was aware that it was created by us, but they were shocked by the fact that they were saying that those folks created it. And then you had people like Lyor Cohen, Rick Rubin, just a few of the names, shall I say, were crucial in drowning out their voices, especially now. So Tariq has a huge platform. Then you got the internet, and they're putting it out there. So yes, more and more people have access, and they have a better understanding. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a lot of people wasn't aware. They was putting it out for years. And then you got these articles that's putting down and saying, yeah, these people are not happy with what's being said about hip hop or what's being done to hip hop. But what could they do? They're a small minority. They were being drowned out. So it's not like it's totally our fault. Yes, a lot of things should have been checked at the gate, like how it used to be. You could not mention that you was something else. You was Black. You was all right. They didn't know that Cool Herc was Jamaican until like 3 and 4 years later, because he spoke like us, he dressed like us, everything. So of course he covered that. There's a documentary out about Biggie's life. And even the people that was speaking about Biggie's life, a couple of them was like, yo, back in the days, I couldn't even tell nobody I was Jamaican. It wasn't cool to mention that you was Jamaican. You had to tell niggas you was Black American. So that's how things got infiltrated. You know what I'm saying? Through deception. You know, a couple of people, yo man, let me rock. I'm black. Come to find out this nigga was Puerto Rican or Dominican or Cuban. So that's how a lot of things worked out, but a lot of people didn't catch on. So now everybody realized what's happening now. So everybody's like, wait a minute, we were tricked. And then what's even worse is that we got tricked into a lot of this Pan-African crap, But at the time, people didn't see it as crap. We just seen it as Black unity. But now a lot of people see what their agenda really is. So now people are like, wait a minute, we were duped, But thank God that everything worked out the way it did, because it's a great awakening. It's the reset. So I'm just gonna land right there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bracy, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I totally agree with the original in regards. I want to make it clear. Oral, I totally agree with. Just because it isn't written doesn't mean it isn't legit. A prime example, if you go back to pop culture, if you will, Gladiator, where the son Commodus gives the impression to the Senate and the people of Rome that the father wanted him to be the next ruler, when the father had given the oral word, the verbal confirmation to Maximus, the gladiator. Prime example. The other thing is, if I present a will to the courts and to a family, and it's a false will, it will pass if the original will, the actual document, is never presented. So we do have to be mindful that just because a false receipt can pass as an original and a legitimate receipt if the actual legitimate and documentation is never presented. So we got to be mindful of what we're saying when we talk about what is documentation, what's valid, and when a verbal word is given, the validity of it. That's the importance of having a third party, another person to witness, to confirm that this thing did occur. That's why notaries are such a big deal. I just wanted to reiterate and touch on that part.
All right, appreciate that. Go ahead, original. I'm gonna let you be probably the last speaker for the night. Then we're gonna get ready to shut it down.
Oh man, I thought we was going to 12. Shoot.
No, you already know better than that.
But brother, what I'm saying is, see, even if you present that false will, that will is still false. It is not true. Yes, it may get the, but my main issue is, that's why he said that, because what was said was as if oral history is irrelevant, and that's what I had to challenge some white people on some years ago when they talked about the oral history of Black people. One thing that our forebears didn't do, they didn't lie to us. Just like when some of them told us, y'all stay away from them damn white folk, because they ain't no damn good. And some people went off and they thought that because some of these white folks treated them nicely, and come to find out, when they started treating them badly, bam, everything that the forebears had taught them, it clicked. And that is my main point, because just because you present that false will and it goes through, that doesn't make it right. That means that that person or those people, they stole the estate. That's theft. It's nothing but theft. And yes, because see, before my mother transitioned, we kept telling her to produce a will, and for whatever reason, you still have a lot of Black people whereby they don't want to make a will because they think a will means that they're going to die, and they're afraid to make one. But we were able to get the estate settled and probated and everything, and we did it ourselves without an attorney, because there was one point whereby it was an automobile accident, how she transitioned. And so my sister filed a claim with this insurance company, and they sent her a letter. I told her, run everything by me. They sent her a letter stating that, and there's 5 of us. They sent her a letter stating that they was offering $5,000 or greater. I'm like, what? Oh, hell no. And see, one of the books I have in my library is the Principles of Insurance Law by LexisNexis. So I went through the book and found some information, and then I wrote the letter and had her, and I wrote the letter for her, and she sent it to that attorney. And when they got that letter, the whole trajectory changed, and everybody got a double-digit check. So that's what I'm saying, is that, see, it's what, like was said earlier, when they said, well, that's your fault. Oh, no, see, that's why we read. That's why we research. And we make sure that we're not going to lose anything. And I'll land with that.
So if you don't mind, I just want to say one thing. You provided curated, written documentation. I just wanted to point that out in that story you're telling. That's all I'm saying here.
Yeah,
so
it was true.
That's the game you have to learn how to play.
Right. Yeah.
But say learn how to play, but we have to learn. We have to understand that's the game that's being played against us. Whether we agree with it or not, we have to play it.
Yes, but that doesn't exclude, oral documentation as being false, though, because see, people wrote lies about us and said that we they lied. People are lying now, saying that they was partly that they created hip hop, and that's a lie. So whether it's oral or written, if it's not true, it's not factual. That's all I'm saying, and I land.
All right. Like I say, tomorrow night, guys, definitely check out this thing with Joe Biden. Joe Biden building, having to go ahead and start building on the wall, on the border. We're going to be having that space tomorrow night. So I want everybody to come up in here. Wednesday, we're going to be talking about Black Americans and their response to the actual situation going on between Israel and Palestine. That's going to be Wednesday night space as well too. So we already got some spaces planned for the night. So I appreciate everybody who came in this space tonight here, guys. Thank you once again. As always, like I say, if you have not participated in that poll, make sure you go ahead and participate in that poll and also retweet it out so your followers may get a chance to see it, and they can also vote in the poll as well too. I think it's maybe another day left in that poll. So if you've already voted, great. Definitely, if you retweet it out, that's great as well too. If you haven't voted or retweeted it out, then definitely go ahead and do that. I think we got about 317 votes or whatever. So I think when the space started, it was at about like 299 or 300. So we got some people in the actual space to vote in the poll as well too. Definitely come out tomorrow night, like I say, and check us out. Let us hear your opinion on what you think about Joe Biden and the actual wall. I remember a few years ago how against the Democrats were, and now Joe Biden's having a change of heart, and it's not because he really has much of a choice, to be honest about it as well too. So appreciate everybody that came out in the space tonight, all the speakers, the listeners. Thank you to everybody who retweeted the space out, who left a comment. Thank you to you guys who also donated on Cash App as well too, guys. We're gonna get ready to call this a night. We'll see you tomorrow night, guys. Appreciate you. Have a good night and see you tomorrow.